So welcome to the movie review at Uncle Ren's Popcorn. I'm your host, Uncle Ren's, where we are deep diving into the movies and the reviews. So tonight we're going to talk about the movie Ride Along 2. Just came out in theaters not too long ago, so we finally had a chance to go out and see it. And yes, as far as a comedy movie, progressing the story from the first Ride Along movie, we're going to give it 6 kernels because it did make us laugh, and there were plenty of things that you can laugh about throughout the movie. But like I said, this is the deep diving review. So we talk about some of the more deeper messages that you may or may not have captured within the movie and the framework of it. Now, there are some ideas of the movie that goes from the first one to the second one, and we're going to put them all in one. So let's go ahead and dive deep. So in diving deep, one of the first things we want to see and talk about is the fact that preconceived notions. You see, throughout both movies, there are preconceived notions as to the Kevin Hart character as what he will be able to accomplish and do. With his heart set on being a police officer, and let me give you warnings of spoiler alerts, with his heart set on being a police officer, you know, there were already preconceived notions that with his stature, with his size, with his knowledge, with his level of manhood and courage, that he wouldn't be able to do certain things. But it is the constant gibberish of the Hammer character that shows, and as it was spoken by the Ice Cube character, that he may say 10 things that are crazy, but it is that one crazy, that one thing, that 10th crazy thing that peaks on the level of genius, which is the one thing that keeps progressing the storyline so that you can get to the villains, so that you get to the plot, so you figure out what's going on. And that is one of the things that we have to take about our lives, our preconceived notions that we have about other people. Yes, people may repeatedly mess up things in their life, but through their mess ups, every now and then, they have that moment of genius, and we got to be ready to bring that into our life and capture that and be able to utilize that, because it is that one moment of genius that can bring about an abundance of happiness then throughout life. And that's why things aren't always what they seem. That when you look at people, sometimes things change. Sometimes things are a little bit different. And it's the true heart of a person that we should be looking at, and not what we always see on the exterior. Now, in thinking about that preconceived notion and things always not being what they seem, throughout the movie and in most comedy police dramas like this, you have the redemption of the hero factor. Now, what is the redemption of the hero factor? That's that situation when they go in, they supposed to be something very simple. They go in and everything goes wrong, and they're blowing up cars and buildings and crashing into stuff, and rich and powerful people are insulted, or they are, and you know, and that's always played by the villain, and everything just seems like wrong, and they mess everything up. And then here comes their boss. They're condemning them, and you're fired, and you're going to lose your job, or you might go to jail and all this kind of thing. But then the redemption factor of the hero is that they get that one opportunity, that ex machina, to be able to go out, and then they figure out the plan, and they go through this part where they do it alone without all the backup, and bam, they solve the case. They break the case wide open. And at the end of every movie, they don't pay for anything. There's no punishment whatsoever, right? Now, we know in real life, if 2 cops went out and they blew up the city, and then even though they come back and they find out who the villain is and fix everything and so that they were framed, they still broke a lot of laws, and they will still be prosecuted. So we know that that's what happens in reality. But see, in the movies, we want that redemption. We want that ability that no matter how many times we mess up, no matter how much goes on in our lives that hurts other people, that hurts property, that hurts so many things, we want that forgiveness, that redemption. And that's what this portion of the movie is always trying to teach us, is that you have redemption within you, and you can find that redemption. You can be forgiven. And in order to do that, we must forgive others. So that's another, and we want that so badly for ourselves, because we know how many things we mess up, and we want other people to forgive us. And so this is implanted in movies so that you can feel a kinship to that. And the movie will always end that way. And you expect that ending. Without that ending, you would hate the movie. In all honesty, you would really hate the movie. The hero must be redeemed of all things. You'll find this, one of my favorite versions of this is in the movie Swordfish. Although the main villain gets away, and he's still portrayed as a hero, the primary hero is redeemed. He's back with his daughter, and they're going on living their life, and they got this money. even though this girl just went through a lot of traumatic things, and that's the movie Swordfish, but we're not going to go into that one. Now, one of the last things I want to talk about is Darkness to Light. In the first movie, the Ice Cube character had a black car with black rims. He was also a cold-hearted person who didn't let anyone in and didn't have a lot of love in his life. The only love he had was for his sister. Now, he didn't think that the Hammer character, that Kevin Hart's character, was good enough for his sister. So he wasn't thinking along the lines of what is making my sister happy. And he wanted to get rid of that character. So he stayed cold throughout the entire movie. A little bit of light showing in at the end. Well, in this movie, you get to see him progress from darkness to light. He starts out again, a black car, black rims. And very early in the movie, the car is destroyed. Then he's driving a blue car. Then he's driving a yellow car. He moved progressively into the light. And as you see that progression of cars, it also progresses in his life, where he finally comes into a realm where he lets a female interest into his heart. But also at the very end, he lets his brother-in-law, the Kevin Hart character, into his heart. He moved from the darkness to the light, symbolized by his cars, but shown through how he treated the Kevin Hart character, as well as he now have a love interest in his life. So that is the deep diving review of Selma movie from Uncle Ren's Popcorn. And I'm your Uncle Ren's. And to culminate this movie, our flavor will be the banana pudding. Why? Signifying the moving into the light from the darkness of the car to the yellow of the car. And since banana pudding is a flavor for us that is yellow, that tastes like banana pudding, and you can order from UncleRensPopcorn.com. So you guys have a great day. Look forward to the next movie review. Deadpool is definitely coming.